Welcome back to another episode of Next Level Minds. Today's episode is Motivation Monday. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is a podcast dedicated to those who want to reach a next level in their business, personal, or career life. Every other week, I sit down with a qualified guest and walk through their story of how they've gotten from point A to point B and overcame various adversities along the way. And as I mentioned, today's topic is Motivation Monday, and we're going to be talking about patience, something that I've really been trying to learn recently. So with patience, you hear this all the time. Patience is a virtue, and I firmly believe that. And it's not only patience for waiting for something to happen, it's patience in the process that you are going through. No matter if it's a bad situation, a good situation, I think you should always have patience for what's coming next. And a lot of times in the culture that we live in today, it's instant gratification, meaning everyone is always trying to get it now. Or why didn't I have this yesterday? Why didn't I have this a week ago? But it's okay to slow down and really find fulfillment in the process that you're going through, because it's a long game. It's a very long game. Building businesses, building your career, building your relationships, building your family, it takes time. For example, kids go off to college. It doesn't take them a year from birth to go off to college. It takes them 18, 19 years. Same with building a business. It can take 15, 16, 17, 20 years to build a business or to build a very successful career. Sure, there's strategies and implementations that you can take that really get you to the point faster, but again, going back to patience, it's not going to happen overnight. These are just some realizations that I've recently had in my life. I know, for example, with the podcast, it's not where I want it to be right now. It is slowly getting better and better and better every single day because I'm putting in the work to make it happen. But a struggle that I have had recently is looking at other podcasts that have, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million downloads and asking myself, why am I not there yet? But if you take a step back and say, I find joy in my process, there's purpose in my process, patience has to happen, then it makes it a lot easier, And I wake up every day saying, okay, it's a long game. I have to keep going. But I always ask myself, what am I doing to make the goals that I have happen? Am I sitting on the couch watching TV, drinking a Bud Light, or am I waking up early, getting what I need to get done to accomplish the goals that I have? And that's a step to really go throughout the long process. If you're just sitting on the couch, not doing anything productive towards your goals, then it's going to be a 10 times longer game than it ever will be if you're really putting in the work. So yeah, patience is one thing, but you have to have patience with the work ethic. I know recently it's okay to have failures with that too. I've had a lot of failures of when I first launched the podcast. I was supposed to launch on Apple Podcasts, but I messed up with fully submitting the paperwork, and I had to launch on SoundCloud first, and now I'm not even on that platform. So you're going to have failures when you're first building a business, you're building your career. But then again, it's purpose in your process. It's a patience game. It's a long game. It happens. I don't even really fully remember why the paperwork wasn't correct with submitting to Apple, but all I know is that it happened and I've bounced back from it. I've adapted, which you've heard from a lot of my guests. Adapting and pivoting in your business or your career really is a good strategy to build what you want, because if you stay the same course, you're going to get nowhere. So again, just some things. Patience is big. You have to have patience, purpose in your process, and put in the work ethic along with that patience. Again, it's not going to happen overnight, but don't just say, oh, it's going to happen, and then sit on your couch every Saturday. Say it's going to happen, but I have to put in the work. And what am I going to do right now at this moment to put in the grind to make my goals happen? Because we have one life, and, you're not going to be born again, and you're not going to have a second chance on what is happening for you right now. So, and there's so many motivators out there. I encourage you to find yours. One thing that you can look at is, don't look at your motivation in a selfish way. Look at it in a, I have to do this. It takes what it takes to provide for my family, to provide for others around me. Focus on being a provider, not a taker. If you focus on being a provider, all the work you're putting in, you realize that it's a bigger purpose. You realize that, the money that you're making or the business you're building or the community or networks that you're building. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing this to help build others around you and build up your family. And that's how you can become unstoppable, along with many other things. But that's another thing that I've recently pivoted to. So just in closing remarks, there's patience, purpose in your process, put in the work ethic. I encourage you all to do that. And welcome back. And just thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Next Level Minds. And I'm really excited that you were able to listen to this episode. Please share with a friend, coworker, family member, whatever that may be. Follow this on Apple Podcasts at Next Level Minds. Follow the Instagram page, Next Level Minds Podcast. And thank you again for tuning in.